AITA for waiting until the exact worst moment to quit and taking half the unit with me? Throwaway, because half my old coworkers know my main. I, 29F, am an ICU nurse. For 3 years, I worked at a hospital under a manager I'll call Diane, the kind of nurse manager who forgot what the floor even feels like. Chronic understaffing, mandatory overtime, and a favorite system where if Diane liked you, you got the good schedule, and if she didn't, you got every holiday, every night shift, and every impossible assignment. I was not a favorite. I was, however, reliable, which to Diane meant disposable, but useful. I picked up shifts when we were short. I stayed late when a patient crashed at change of shift. I trained every new grad she hired and then watched half of them quit within the year because the unit was a meat grinder. The thing that broke me was my sister's wedding. I asked for a single weekend off, 8 months in advance. I was the maid of honor. Diane approved it in writing. Then, 2 weeks before, she unapproved it because she'd let 3 of her favorites take the same weekend and now we'd be short. When I showed her the approval email, she said, and I quote, "The schedule is a living document." I begged. She told me if I no-called, no-showed, I'd be terminated and reported to the board. So I went to the wedding. I found coverage myself, pulled a favor from a per diem nurse, documented everything, and Diane still wrote me up for unprofessionalism for going over her head. That was the moment something in me went very calm. I started applying quietly. Turns out ICU nurses with 3 years of experience are worth a lot right now. Within a month, I had an offer at a hospital across town. Better pay, better ratios, a signing bonus. But I didn't take it right away. I waited. See, I wasn't the only one Diane had been grinding down. Over the next 2 months, quietly, at lunch and in the parking lot, I found out that 5 of my coworkers were just as done as I was. 2 of them I helped with their resumes. 1 I referred directly to my new job. Another 2 applied to the same competitor. We didn't plan a walkout. We just all, independently and definitely not coordinated wink, happened to accept offers around the same time. Then I looked at the calendar. Our unit was about to lose its magnet redesignation survey window, and Diane had a big system-wide leadership review coming up. The one where she liked to present our unit's great retention numbers to her bosses. So I picked my date. All 6 of us submitted our 2 weeks' notices within the same 48 hours. Mine landed on Diane's desk the morning of her leadership review. By policy, she had to report resignations up the chain that same week. 6 experienced ICU nurses gone from a unit that was already running on fumes, right as she was standing in front of her directors talking about what a well-run ship she had. I gave a full professional 2 weeks, trained no one, because there was no one left to train. Left my badge on the desk, said thank you to the patients and the techs who'd earned it, and walked out. So, AITA? Update. 1 update and then I'm done. It's been 4 months. My new unit is everything the old one wasn't. Safe ratios, a manager who works the floor when we're short, and I haven't cried in a supply closet once. But that's not the juicy part. The juicy part is that after we left, the unit had to close beds. They physically could not staff them, and go on diversion for weeks, which meant lost revenue the directors absolutely noticed. Diane's great retention presentation aged like milk. 3 of the traveler nurses they brought in to plug the hole cost the hospital roughly triple what we'd been paid, and 2 of them quit citing toxic management. Last I heard, Diane was quietly moved out of the manager role into some vague, quality initiatives desk job with no direct reports. The corporate way of firing someone without firing them. And the best part? The new nurse manager they brought in to fix the unit reached out to a couple of us to ask if we'd ever consider coming back, and what would need to change for that to happen. She actually wanted to know. One of the 5 went back on her own terms, with a raise and a schedule in writing that no one can call a living document. That's the only update I'm giving.